Samuel, educator, program developer.
Okay, well, my name is Aja Bradley, and I'm going to ask you some questions about my senior project in the school code.
Okay.
First question, how are you involved with the youth?
So I've been working with young people about 15 years. I currently work with young people through a program called the Philadelphia Freedom Schools, and in that role, I design and also develop programs that help young people to transition through high school into college and also into career.
Question number 2, how do you feel about the school closing?
How do I feel about school closing? I think that schools have been in crisis for a long period of time, so I think the closing is really one of the last phases of what we've been seeing for some time now. I think that it's not only the responsibility of the school district, but also the responsibility of communities and parents and young people to really evaluate how young people are educated. I don't like it. I'm not for school closings, but by no means do I think it's something that's new, something that's been happening for some time. It's just that we haven't addressed it as a community.
Why do you think the schools are closing?
I think that education and communities are in crisis. Young people need a lot more than what schools are able to provide, and I don't think that adults are properly trained to handle what young people need. You don't really learn this in college, you don't learn this in a class. You can't really deal with a young person who has a lot of needs without really being prepared for it. So the environments that are for young people are prepared to really deal with their needs. At the same time, it's also young people don't really believe in the education that they're getting. It's not really fulfilling their needs. So there's two lives. They have what Du Bois called double consciousness. They have a life outside of school and a life inside of school, and they don't match up. So in my neighborhood, I'm one way, and then when I go on school, I'm another way, and I don't have really anything to kind of connect them to make sure that I'm doing what I have to do in order to better myself. So there's a disconnect between what their life is outside in the community and their life is inside of school, and it's not matching up.
What do you think are the negative outcomes of the closings, and what are some positive outcomes?
So we're in 2013, about 5 years ago in Philadelphia, there was a big conversation going on about dropouts. That was like the big thing that everybody was talking about, the dropout rate, dropout programming, having re-engagement centers. Everybody was talking about dropping out. So the school closing is really not different than that. It really is just it's a connection to that. We just haven't addressed it. We haven't really dealt with the fact that young people will not go to school and will not be interested in school if their home school or school they feel like they are connected to are no longer there, or they don't feel like they're getting what they need from that school. So when schools close, they can make a decision about whether I'm going to go to school or not go to school, or if I do go to school, am I going to go to school with the attitude of really learning? So I think it's going to have a negative effect on a lot of young people. I do think there will be some young people who will take it as a positive and will help to organize schools to be better places. And hopefully that group of young people who are really the positive ones who really see the opportunity in the negative situation, they can help to galvanize other young people who may not necessarily feel the same way.
What are you doing or planning to do to help our youth with this process?
I think Philadelphia Freedom Schools, we have to do a better job. I think we're not doing everything we can do. I think that we have, at this point in time in history, we're probably one of the few organizations in Philadelphia who have the attention of young people, and young people are interested and passionate about this issue. I think that for us, we have to expand our ability to reach out to young people across the city and begin to help them to understand what's going on in their schools. Help them to understand that whether a school closes or a school doesn't close, that their education is really your personal responsibility, and no one can take that from you. And also to hold adults accountable. So I think for us, to answer your question, is 3 things. One thing is to help to frame the issue, help people understand what the issue really is around education and the lack of quality education. I think 2 is to help to work with those schools that are struggling, to help them to define what they can do better at. And I think 3 is to help teachers and principals to improve how they work out in their schools. I think they need a lot of help. This morning I was at Overbrook all morning, and I just realized that adults, a lot of adults don't know what they necessarily want to do or can do with young people. They're very much disconnected with young people. So I think it's our job to figure out how we can get them to be on the same page for young people and what they need current day, not 10 years ago, not 5 years ago, but right now, 2013.
Well, thank you for your time. I had a nice time talking with you, and I hope to talk back to you later on.
I say thank you. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.